Hello everyone. Today I'm going to walk you through the peer graded assignment for the third module, which is the human factors in AI. So this is the opportunity which we have. The current situation is that at present, when customers submit payment transactions to bank, depending on the country where the payment needs to be sent and mode of payment, we need to convert the payment instruction into the prescribed format. So this involves intense development and configuration of the payment rules and country specific schema information. So the proposed solution involves developing a machine learning system which will consume the payment schema to validate the submitted transaction and also the payment rules for specific country and mode of payment to validate against. Yeah. So this is the agenda which I'm going to walk you through. The task analysis, the user experience design consideration, the privacy consideration and ethical consideration. The task, automatic conversion and validation of the payment submitted by customer. What's the trigger? When payments are submitted by the customer. Objective, convert the payment instructions submitted by the customer to required format and validate. If there are exceptions, submit for human review. This is applicable for all the payment systems. Um, User, automate conversion of payments and then submission back to backend operator for exception reviews. So what kind of an exception we're talking about? Let's say there is some problem in converting to the required payment format, or uh, the system or the model ran into some undefined exceptions. So that's where we would need a human intervention, which we are referring to a backend operator. Coming to the user interface, provide status of the payment conversion and show the details of exceptions to the backend operator. Provide option for the backend operator to review the exception and make modifications to address those. From a user experience design perspective, this is mostly in the space of automation and augmentation tool. So backend operator can intervene and see the status of every payment transaction which is being processed or converted and address if there are any reported exceptions. So backend operator inputs make corrections to the exceptions for resubmission, reprocess the payment transactions in case of conversion error. Transparency clearly displays the status of each conversion of a payment transaction and exception. Ability for the backend operator to view the validated payment rules. So communicating the uncertainty, exceptions are communicated to the backend operators with status of all the transactions. Privacy consideration, backend users will not be able to see the complete customer details to protect the customer's privacy. To view the customer details, additional roles and checks can be introduced. So following are also implemented in the model. So the right to be informed whenever there is a need to query about the customer details or the status of the transactions, that can be done. The right of access, who has access to the information and what level, is completely controlled, and there is a clear segregation. The right to the rectification, whether there is an error in the payment processing or the status has to be viewed. So that's where it is termed as a right to rectification. Right to restricted processing and right to object. So it had both of these are in the complete control of the backend operator. Ethical consideration, reference to the payment rules for country and payment type is always available, which has been considered by the model. So what it means is, if you wanted to see a payment which is submitted by the customer has been changed or converted into a specific country specific payment instruction following the country specific rules, a reference information can be provided to display or to give the context of what underlying rules have run and what kind of a schema check, what kind of a country specific rules have been applied there. Transaction of all values and accountability, model team is responsible to implement the schema details for a specific payment type instruction and the country specific rules updation. Backend operator review and process the exceptions. Transparency, there is no black box in this model. Right from the schema which has been chosen for the payment processing to the rules which has been applied from a country specific, everything is available for the backend operator or for the folks who are accessing the payment instructions to see those details. and clear communication of end-to-end payment status lifecycle um, while querying the transactions. Thank you.